Hey friends, when things don't seem to be going as expected, when your world feels so far from what you envisaged, when you have a big issue before you and you don't know how to get out of it, it could be a job issue, a financial issue, family, or just generally discontent with where you are at the moment. What do you do in these times? These times when you can't seem to hold on to any peace at all. Is it possible to have peace in the midst of chaos? Today, I want to talk to you about getting access to this peace. We've been told in the Bible, in John chapter 16, verse 33, where this genuine peace comes from. Jesus was speaking and he said, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Yes, we know from this verse that Jesus gives us peace, but how can we practically receive this peace when we feel so troubled with the chaos life brings us? There's another verse in the Bible that shows us how. But before we get there, I want us to examine the truth of the verse we just read. It says, in this world you would have trouble. This statement reveals a lot to me, one of which is that if I'm waiting for things to line up in the world, I should wait no more because it truly isn't going to line up. This is the nature of the world we live in. We can't get peace from it because it is a fallen world. We hear a lot about earthquakes and natural disasters, and even in our recent times, the issue of COVID rendered the world helpless. We can't rely on the world to give us peace because it is full of trouble. So, in the midst of all the chaos, how can we stay sane and keep thriving? The answer is in you, my friend. Let me explain by sharing another verse in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. It says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. This verse clearly tells us where we lose and win the battle for our peace. It's in our mind. Our mind is the battlefield. It's one thing having these challenges such as financial chaos, family issues, unfulfilled expectation, but it is another thing to be blinded by these challenges. How do we stay grounded and sane in the midst of it? How do we keep taking one step after another to make sure life still goes on, that we are not blinded by these challenges? The problem might be just in one area of your life, but seeps into our whole being if we're not careful. It renders us paralyzed to make progress and move forward. Can we actually keep moving on in the midst of the problem in one area that seems so massive? That is what I mean by receiving a peace that makes no sense, a peace that keeps you grounded in the midst of trouble, a peace that gives you assurance that I will overcome this issue, a peace that tells you that all is well. Not all will be well, but all is well. So let me reveal this verse that has seen me through life's journey and gives me that peace in every issue and stage of my life. This is the same verse I taught the children in a kids' Bible club I was involved in, and I love to see them grasp it at their young age. What a gift to give them to know where their peace lies. The verse I'm talking about can be seen in Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. It says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything you can understand. His peace will guide your heart and mind as you live in Christ Jesus. Okay, you may have heard this verse before, as it is one of these simple but profound verses. So let's dissect it as it has the steps to your peace. How do you not worry about the financial crisis, that challenge, or that thing you so desire? Step 1 says, pray about everything. There is nothing too little or big that you cannot bring to God in prayer. So, my friend, don't think in your heart God has bigger issues to deal with, like the wars happening in the world, than to listen to my own heart desires or my own crisis. That is why He is God, my friend. He is not intimidated by your wants. He cares for you and does not see them as insignificant. So tell Him what you need. He is listening. Trust Him with your cares and worries, after which you thank Him. That's step 2. Thank Him for all He has done. There is so much to thank God for, my friend. In fact, the fact that you are listening to me or reading these words right now tells me you are living, irrespective of that issue bothering you. Look back at your life and gather evidence of the goodness of God in your life and thank Him for what He did for you, what Jesus did to set us free from the world's chaos. I also want to challenge you to go a step further and thank Him for making a way through the issue you are facing. That, my friend, is faith. Faith does not rely on your capacity to handle the situation, but on who God is. Because of who He is, you trust that He will come through for you. See past that problem to the magnitude of your God. So step 1, tell Him everything. Step 2, thank Him for what He has done. These 2 steps will give you the peace that you cannot fathom, a peace that keeps you grounded, a peace that sees you taking one step after another, a peace that holds your hand, a peace that gives you the courage to face life and not hide, a peace that comes from within, a peace that makes no sense to the world. I have experienced that peace time and time again. When I have an area of life bothering me, I can't cower and give up on life. So how do I make sure the issue in that area does not affect my other areas of life? These other areas of my life that I can't give up on, my children, my husband, my job, and other things that need my attention. They didn't stop existing when I had the problem. So how can I keep showing up as my best self irrespective of the circumstance? I have come to realize that there would always be something we are wanting or striving for. So we can't wait to solve all our problems before we get our peace. That in itself is a false hope. We can receive peace in the midst of the challenge. Try on these steps, my friend, and keep receiving the peace of God that exceeds anything we can understand. A peace that makes no sense. Until next time, my friend, it's your host, Sylvia Wokolo, reminding you to keep winning, shining, and thriving. God bless.